what advice would you have for property and facilities managers in the next 30 to 90 days as they're trying to get these buildings back opened up?
Sure. My advice is always the same. It starts with a good plan, right? I mean, how many times can you say that, the plan may not have worked, but you don't typically fail if you have a plan, right? So it's pretty straightforward. You really need to look at your building, and it's a building by building exercise. And we're home now, and a lot of people have extra time, but I'm doing a lot more one-on-one or one-on-two Zoom presentations with groups where we're specifically focusing on a building or a couple buildings, um, and looking at. So first is looking at your portfolio, building by building, where they are in the city, the history of them, how old they were, when they were designed. Do you have a history of testing on the building? Have you had a history of mechanical failures? Let's really try to understand what you're doing, and then understanding the tenants. You know, is it commercial real estate that we're equally concerned about, where people have been home and they're using all their water like they normally would, but they can't get out on a regular basis. And the delivery companies is delivering their water but leaves it downstairs. And do we have the ability to put in point of use filters, so just like you talked about with little Joey, now you've got safe water in your kitchen. And then looking at it, like I mentioned, the exercise on commercial office space. I think that's a critical one, because we're going to really want people to come back comfortably. We've talked to a few restaurants as they've looked at the fact that they're going to be opening their kitchens back up, and in their particular case, it's a heightened awareness, right? It's really
Yep.
responsible Americans that want to make sure that they're educating themselves and doing their due diligence to open back up correctly, safely, in the right time frame. So again, simple answer is starts with a really good action plan, and in the short term, the simple answer is point of use. I would tell you, in some cases, looking at your domestic hot water would be secondary, and then long term would be, if it makes sense, upgrading to a point of entry system so that you're better prepared for the next time this happens. And again, I'm reading and watching the same news you are, but it's potentially 9 months away. We might be shutting our cities back down this winter, um, and we have an opportunity to prepare these buildings not only for the short-term wave of employees coming back or guests coming back, residents, being at home for extended periods of time. But then do we have a long-term strategy in place to
Sure.
make sure that we're better prepared for who knows what potentially might come next?